Yay, I've done it! I've got my cloche hat. I've glued on some decoration and oops, this one, and some feathers. And this obviously came out of the crocheted, oh no, the knitted flower, and I have a coordinating scarf.
I've got a rebel soul. 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 Just get down with it, down with it, down with it. Just get down.
I got a rebel soul. Get down with it, down with it, down with it. That's it. I'm slow living for the rest of the video. Today is a good day. It's 1 year today since I had my last radiotherapy treatment. Yay! So, celebration over. By the way, it's February the 18th today when I'm recording this. Let's hope we don't get anything more back. But there you go, that's another story. Anyway, so onwards and upwards. Knitting. Yeah, this hat. Now, if anyone wants to learn how to make a cloche hat, it is actually based on my bucket hat that I showed back in episode 6, I think, with the crocheted coat. You remember that far back? I'll put the video on the end card for you, if I remember. Still struggling with the memory, guys. Still struggling, and it's a year. Sorry. And tiredness. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. So, if you'd like to learn how to make the cloche hat or the bucket hat in crochet, please let me know in the comments, and in my next video I will do some little I don't know what you would call them, little tutorials. There you go, we'll go with that. Now, I found a hairdresser, you'd like to know. That's the hat is still on. I've found a hairdresser. Now I have to book the appointment. I found the hairstyle I would like. But I'm also thinking about you ladies who had, shall we say, a harder journey with breast cancer than I did. And you know, hair, we know that hair loss is part of chemotherapy. My hair thinned out quite a bit with radiotherapy, actually, just to let you know that. But it is nice now. It's okay. There's enough thickness in it now. I just felt it wasn't as good afterwards. Anyway, enough of that. Many of you ladies out there will want to wear a hat, even when the sun is shining perhaps, or maybe you don't mind, you know, don't mind having thinning hair and not wearing a hat. That's entirely, you know, up to everybody. But if you would like to learn how to make a cloche hat or a bucket hat, just leave me a comment and let's see what we can come up with. I'm just going to use some scrap yarn I have. It's what I generally do actually with the bucket hats, is if I've got any scrap yarn about, it'll either go on a blanket or in the bucket hats if they're nice and bright and cheery. And now the scarf, when I went to Elgin, I bought one ball of this ribbon style yarn, you know, this lacy ribbon. See what I mean? No, that way, that's it. Well, this ribbon style yarn, I only got one ball of it, and it's made a nice longish scarf, which I double up, put around my neck, see where the loop is there, and just put it around like that, and it makes a nice little collar. I also bought this yarn in the same shop, so you can see I've got a little bit of the ribbon yarn in the centre of my rose. Can I just bring that down? There's the centre of my rose. Oh, this is not very good, is it? Trying to do it on a computer camera. Oh, there you go. Oh, and you can maybe see the feathers. This decoration here, I was trying to make another hat for a friend of mine, a few years ago, for a wedding, and I bought a lot of beads and things and wiring, so I sort of wired up something, and this is how it came out. I've kept that and I've put that onto my hat. I glued that on this morning. It's just a matter of a glue gun on a couple of the bigger beads, and that should hopefully keep it there. With the wrong way around, with the feathers, the same thing. They're just poked into the rose with some glue, with a glue gun on the bottom ends of the feathers. But yeah, I'd love to show you how to make my cloche hat. It was so easy, so simple. And also I'd love to show you how to make the bucket hat too. So if you would like to do that, please put a little comment in the bottom. So I just wanted to bob in and just mention, I'm wearing a bobble hat here that I made, and this is a crochet hat, and it was done on the side. I also am wearing double scarves here. They're just two little scarves, crocheted separately, and I've just tied together. And I'm going to put these patterns up on my Ravelry page. I'll put the link to my Ravelry page at the end of the video so that you can go in and get yourself a pattern. And they are going to be free patterns. I put them on Instagram some time ago as free patterns, and they will stay as free patterns. Yeah, so that's a little something to keep you busy on the sofa, and it's just to give you a little twiddle around. The brim is quite long, so you can actually double it up. So that's what I do. That you can either have it that length if you want it, or double it up like I sometimes have it, just for extra coziness around the ears. The scarves, as I say, this one's, the yellow one came out a bit shorter. There, that's a pretty little lacy pattern. And the grey one. And what I tend to do is put them together, doesn't matter how, I just put them together like so, fold them in half like I do with the lace scarf, wrap round my neck and pull through. Then style as required. There you go. Just a couple of simple little scarves. They're not hard to do. And I'd like to know how you got on with them. If you can message me or go on my Instagram account. We can maybe show a few of the scarves that you've made. So I'll put the link at the end of the video so that you can go straight to the uploads, which I'll do sometime this week. It's Monday now and this video should be out by Friday, so I've got plenty of time, haven't I? Anyway, so just today a quickie on what I'm wearing. You will have seen this on episode 12 where I used the big flower pattern from, let me just lift that up, the big flower pattern from Cat Facet in his pattern library, as well as the details on the sleeve here of the triangles. There's a little more explanation of it on episode 12, so if you'd like to go to episode 12 then you will see what I'm talking about. So I'm wearing that today with my regulation woolen bottom warm, which I seem to wear a lot. That was on episode 12. I either wear it underneath skirts for extra warmth or over a pair of trousers, again for warmth, and over leggings as well, because they're quite light leggings, but I don't like to show the top of my legs and my hip area, so I enjoy wearing a warm, my bottom warmer as I call it. Anyway, next on the list today is some bags. I made 2 Harris Tweed bags. I got the handles. I think I was back in Stornoway when I made these, and the lined them with some nice fabrics I had at the time, and wadding, just to give them a bit of a cushioned feel. The one with the big white flower was made with a PVC scrap I found. I was always having trouble with this one. It flopped. So the other day, Saturday, I got the glue gun out and I sorted it out. And doesn't it look fabulous? I love that big flower. And the little stamens, as you might call it, from the middle of the flower is just some old ribbon that I use. Well, I just put some scissors through it and made it look a bit raggedy. Quite liked that effect. The handles were actually sewn on with the buttons, but one of them came apart, so I've had to re-glue that. But I use these now for my knitting. They are my knitting bags. I've got a couple of projects going, as you know, at the moment, which are still, we haven't got much further with them, so I probably won't discuss much of that in the video this time. There's also, as you can see, a large amount of accessories, hats, etc. As I say, hats are something that I tend to wear quite a bit of, particularly in the winter, and particularly when I'm not happy with my hair, or I'll wear a headband. I've also got a dress that I'm frogging. It was made in an acrylic style craft special DK, that's what it was, in oh, I can never remember the colour. I'll put it on the screen for you when I find it. Beautiful turquoise colour, but I'm never going to wear it. It's not going to fit me. I know it doesn't fit me. So I've decided to frog it, and I am at the moment making a sideways cardigan, and I'll put a photograph up of that. I'm not there at the minute, it's downstairs. I'll put a picture up of it anyway, as to how far I've got with it. And it includes a little bit of basic slip stitch knitting, mosaic knitting, just as a little practice session. And I'm just using odds and ends that I've got in the Stylecraft Special DK. It's kind of what you would call a, having trouble with the brain again today, no, it's just not coming. It is just not coming. Oh, a prototype, there you go, it's a prototype. So it's something I could knit up in some of my hand spun yarns, you know, that sort of thing. Hand dyed yarns as well, so that will give me a little bit of pleasure, dyeing a bit of yarn and knitting it up. Also, oh yes, I have on order some Sandness Garn Sisu yarn, which is on its way, although today the wind is blowing, the barriers are closed because it's been pretty stormy. I went outside to try and shut the greenhouse door last night, which had blown open because the roof's missing now since the last storm, and we haven't got round to recovering it yet. But the actual wind was quite warm, which was extremely strange. You know, warm wind, warm gales, but there you go. So I've done that. Oh yes, so I'm waiting for that to come, aren't I? See, my brain's sort of coming in and out again. It's a bit frustrating, I have to say, but you know, I don't know when this is going to go away, but it will eventually, I'm sure of it. But I'm going to knit with it a pattern for the, how I call it, the merino underwear. If you go onto my Ravelry page again, you will see that I've put the yarn in the stash, and I've also purchased the two patterns that I'm going to use for the bralette top and the shorts. So have a little trot over there to have a little look. When the yarn comes, eventually, I will post that up on my Instagram page, and if I have a little chance next week, I might have a little chat about how I'm going to do that. It's all on circular needles. Now, I'm not really a circular needle person. Like I said before, I'm a traditional knitter, and although the Shetland ladies will have created a lot of their knitted garments on circular needles, they used to work from the bottom up and not from the top down, which is the fashionable way of doing things. On my Ravelry page, I also have a basic top down circular needle pattern for a jumper, which I found on Ravelry. It's a free pattern as well, so I mean that's just amazing to me. So that's why I'm offering a couple of free patterns, because I think it's nice to do an exchange, isn't it? And so I will use that as a basis for practicing some top-down jumpers. I have tried some last year, as you'll have seen on episode 12, but I wouldn't say that they were that successful. I am a circular needle rebel.
I've got a rebel soul.
A rebel soul, as we've already found out. And these, I have to use circular needles in some things. It's true. It's not what I want to do, and I know many older knitters don't. They don't like them. They prefer to knit on 2 needles. I even knit 2 socks on 2 needles, as you already know, if you've been watching me for a little while now. I want to teach you girls that are starting out in knitting that you can knit on 2 needles. And I want to teach you to sew your garments together, and that you can do that nice, with a nice seam. And I quite often go on Instagram and watch what other people do in seaming their knitted garments. Mattress stitch is a big thing I use. And it's very successful. You just have to take your time over it at first, or even now I still take my time over it, because sometimes I have to pull back if I've just not got it right. But there's a kind of accomplishment in being able to do that, you know. Yeah.
Thank